My favorite Pokemon are the ones with rock-hard bulges. Well, not really, rock type's kinda lame. They're kinda hard to get into. So a while ago we looked at Steel-type Pokemon, answering the question, what type of metal specifically are each of the Steel-type Pokemon? Because not all of them are steel, obviously. And today we are going to do the same thing for the Rock-type Pokemon. What type of rock or mineral are each of the rock-type Pokemon? I'm sure with this video I'm either going to make my geology teacher smile or cringe. So, let's start by organizing the Pokemon by category, and begin with Pokemon that are solid living rocks. Because not all rock-type Pokemon are purely rock, clearly. So in this first category, we have Geodude, Graveler, Golem, Onix, Bonsly, Sudowoodo, Magcargo, Corsola, Nosepass, Probopass, Aron, Larion, Aggron, Lunatone, Solrock, Regirock, Roggenrola, Boldore, Gigalith, Carbink, Deoncé, Minior, and Nihilego. Let's start with the first rock Pokemon, Geodude, and its evolutions. These Pokemon are rather simple looking with a generic rocky exterior. On the surface it's hard to tell, but when we delve into its name, we can figure out more about this line. Geodude. Alright, so it's a dude, or at least masculine, but let's look at geo. This could either mean geo as in geology, the study of rocks, which would make sense because it's a rock, but geo could also mean geode. Geodes are hollow rocks that form when a lava bubble hardens, trapping air inside of it. Over many years, different particles pass through the air bubble and leave minerals that build up, creating a crystalline structure. The outsides of geodes tend to be round, since they are rock bubbles after all, which fits this whole line's shape, round rocks. And Golem, the third evolution, is actually rumored to be hollow, since he's shown tucking his arms, legs, and head inside of its body. As for the Alolan variant of the Geodude line, we see that it has snazzy eyebrows and hair. Alolan Geodude is made of magnetic rocks that seem to attract iron sand fillings. Think like those old Woolly Willy toys at the Dollar Tree. Another small detail is that its hands contain a few less fingers, possibly due to the magnetism in the rocks not wanting to split as much. Graveler seems to be sporting this same hand configuration of losing fingers, almost gaining scoops for hands, with small brown dravite gems on the arms. Golem, then, is a taser. Yep, you heard it here, a taser face. But in fact, it seems to have a rail cannon on its back. See that black rock on the head between the magnetic monoliths? According to the Pokedex entries, it is known for shooting the rock, but also shooting any nearby Alolan Geodudes. And we can't ignore that nice beard. All of its extremities are tucked further into its body, with even less digits on each, suggesting that it is much more dense, possibly due to the magnetic forces consisting within its body. This chain is likely made of magnetite. No, not Magnemite, the Pokemon, magnetite, a highly magnetic rock that is found abundantly in Hawaii, the place the Alola region is based on. This gray-brown mineral is quite magnetic, and it is helping scientists follow the drift of the Hawaiian hotspots and volcanic activity. Moving on now to Onix, the cool rock snake that can burrow at 50 miles an hour. That's pretty crazy, right? Well, what is this rock-hard beast? In some games, its dex entry states that as they age, they become hard as diamonds. But black. Black diamonds. Well, there is a mineral called carbonado, also known as black diamonds. Carbonado is an impure crystalline structure made of diamond, graphite, and amorphous carbon. This all adds up to being the hardest type of natural diamonds found. Due to the graphite, it has a very gray-black coloring. Very rarely are these diamonds found larger than a pea, unfortunately, so they are not used in many real-life applications. This is also apparent in Mega Steelix, where we see clear prisms shoot out of its body. It is possible that as Steelix ages, along with the internal pressure and heat due to the depths it is known to dig to, it slowly purifies this black diamond into the clear crystalline structures that explode out when it mega evolves. Moving on to Bonsly and Sudowoodo. Well, Bonsly is just a baby Sudowoodo, so what is a Sudowoodo? Well, it's just that. Pseudo-wood. Oh. Or fake wood. Petrified wood, to be exact. What is petrified wood, you ask? Well, petrified wood is any wood that has gone through the permineralization process. Permineralization occurs when an object like wood or bone is buried deep under the layers of sediment. Groundwater then flows through the porous material, leaving behind minerals inside of the cells of the object. This process essentially leaves behind an internal cast of the object. This rock is made of multiple minerals, but can be categorized into three large large groups: silicate, coal, and sulfur iron. Sudowoodo is most likely a silicate-like quartz, with other minerals such as copper in the false leaves to create the green color we see. The yellow spots on it may also indicate high levels of manganese oxide in the groundwater. Macargo is the evolved form of slugma, and it takes on the appearance of a snail and seems to be made of cooling magma. The technical definition of magma states that it is molten rock under the Earth's crust. Once it reaches the outside, it is considered lava. But lava cargo doesn't sound as cool. Now the question is, what is magma made of really? And why is Macargo rock type and Magmar, the other magma Pokemon, not? Well, it's simple. Macargo is cooling off, though still brittle. Its shell is solid. It may be igneous volcanic rock, a mixture of many different minerals, but mainly of the silicate variety. Now, coming from a 180,000 degree Fahrenheit Pokemon to one that lives in the ocean. Corsola is a coral-like Pokemon that lives in warm seas. This Pokemon is very weak to pollution and dirty water, but this Pokemon has been seen strong enough to build a city upon them. Due to the coloration and design of this Pokemon, it seems to be based off of the species of coral, Corallium rubrum, or red coral. But what type of rock is coral, you ask? Well, this species of coral is mostly made of calcium carbonate, a generic mineral that forms many rocks, most notably limestone. Nosepass is an odd little fellow that is most notable for always being able to point north. This Pokemon has a blue-gray hue and the odd ability of magnetism. This must mean he has at least some metal in him. His appearance is similar to that of an eastern island head. Some of these heads were made of volcanic rock with a large red crown being placed upon them. Nosepass and Probopass share this blue-gray hue and a large red stone accent. They are both most likely made of a volcanic rock with iron cores or internals, and you can find more info on Probopass's innards in the Steel-type video. Aron, Larion, and Aggron eat rocks and metals and use those minerals to form its steel shell. But what about all of those leftover minerals that they ingest that don't add up to steel? Well, they don't waste any of it. It is possible that they use those minerals to form the rest of their bodies. Aron is possibly made of the minerals found in sedimentary rock, as he eats mostly sedimentary rocks. Go figure. Lunatone is a small crescent moon-shaped Pokemon that levitates and is the counterpart to Solrock, a small sun-shaped rock. Both of these Pokemon were discovered near meteorite crash landings, so it is theorized that they are alien in nature. Unsurprisingly enough, there are two elements that were discovered on the moon and from meteorites. One called Pyrox ferroite. The name comes from Pyrox mangite, Greek for strange fire, and ferrite, a type of iron. Together, these are somewhat descriptive of Solrock, an extraterrestrial fiery rock. This mineral is also known for its high heat requirements to create synthetically. Then we have another element named Tranquilitite, named after the Mare Tranquillitatis, or Sea of Tranquility, the landing place of the first crewed mission to the moon. This rock is similar in color to Lunatone's gray, even giving off some red hues like that in Lunatone's eyes under transmitted light. Man, Pokemon lore designs are deep. Regirock is a large golem Pokemon that has a brown and orange color palette, giving off the idea that it is from a desert location, because it is. The Pokedex entry states that the rocks that make up Regirock are from a multitude of different locations. This is due to the fact that when damaged in battle, it will replace the rocks with whatever is laying around. This information makes it hard to pick what rock it is exactly, but whatever they are definitely sedimentary rocks easily found on the surface. The orange rock leads me to believe that it is possibly sandstone with ferric oxide, found normally in arid desert-like regions. Next up is Roggenrola, Boldore, and Gigalith. This line is similar to the Geodude line, with the second evolution at level 25 and the third only after trading. Roggenrola is a small rock with a lone hexagonal ear in the center of its face. It is said to be as strong as steel due to the compression of being so deep in the ground. Roggenrola is some type of geode with a crack due to the internals being hollow to form an ear. Boldore and Gigalith then seem to be geodes that have fully filled or are expanding out of the hard rocky outside to create large crystalline structures. Based off of the coloration of the crystals, it is most likely due to it containing hydrated iron oxide. Carbink is a small floating rock with small blue crystals protruding from multiple parts of its body. You can see a white collar that appears to be almost fluffy on it too. Carbink is based off of a mythological creature called the Carbuncle, which has gems protruding out of its head. The most logical rock that this Pokemon would be made of is a type of crystal that is growing out of some sort of sedimentary rock. The blue coloration leads me to believe that it has high amounts of tourmaline held in the quartz. It is also possible that it is sapphire, as these crystals are stated in the Pokedex to be jewels, and quartz isn't technically a jewel. Diancie is a very similar Pokemon to the previous Carbink, but they are not exactly related. I know, when it was first revealed, I also thought that it was an evolution of Carbink. In fact, in the anime, this Pokemon is almost like a princess princess or queen of the carbinks. This Pokemon is a floating rock also, but it has more of an anthropomorphic body and much larger pinkish crystals that look similar to ears or hair, with a large gem with a brilliant round cut. You would think this princess-like Pokemon would have its gem in the princess cut, but no, it's just the generic round. That is a missed opportunity, Game Freak. Diancie and Mega Diancie sport a vibrant pink color and are said to be as hard as diamond. They also can make diamonds by pretty much just clapping their hands. Pokemon are crazy. It is possible that these Pokemon are made of diamonds with some sediment clinging to their bodies, specifically red or pink diamonds. This type of diamond is made when there are impurities not of minerals, but into its crystalline lattice, which is formed due to intense heat and pressure. This winds up refracting light incorrectly and gives off a red hue. With the hue saturation and tone of this magnitude, it's safe to say that these are beyond even the most rare diamond, the Pink Star Diamond. So, nice. This diamond actually has a name, and Diancie is even rarer. I guess it's a legendary for a reason. Speaking of floating rocks, up next is Minior, another meteor Pokemon. This Pokemon is pretty cute. Its core changes color based off of what it eats while it's up in the ozone layer. Apparently, once it eats enough space dust, it creates its shell with the material and falls to Earth. So what is up there to eat for this little guy? Well, surprisingly a lot. These particles that spread in the upper stratosphere are called atmospheric aerosols by NASA. There are many things that are up in our atmosphere, but there are 3 that actually affect our climate: volcanic aerosols, desert aerosols, and man-made aerosols. It is possible that each color of Minior corresponds to a different aerosol, or possibly it's based on what percentage of each it eats. And finally, for this category, we come to Nihilego, an ultra beast that I frequently mispronounce the name to. This beast looks similar to a jellyfish that is translucent. It doesn't look like it at first, but after you hit it, you find out that it's made of a rock. Like, what? That's not intuitive at all. I kept hitting it with electricity because it looks like a water type, right? Anyway, this Pokemon could be rock type, as glass is technically a silicate-based rock. Even the official Pokemon site states that this Ultra Beast is made of a glass-like substance. Flexible glass isn't even that big of a sci-fi topic, as we currently have bendable glass. Although human-made bendable glass needs to be in a straight, flat sheet, and not shaped like a jellyfish, but it's a start. Good job, humans. It's not that far of a stretch to say that this Ultra Beast is made of a flexible glass or crystal, as it is from Ultra Space, another universe, another dimension that may not necessarily follow our same laws of physics. So, you know, it's an alien, it's easy. And that takes care of a lot of Pokemon, but let's go ahead and move on to the next category. Pokemon that have rock parts that may or may not be a part of them. In this category, we have Rhyhorn, Rhydon, Rhyperior, Shuckle, Larvitar, Pupitar, Tyranitar, Relicanth, Dwebble, Crustle, Binacle, Barbaracle, Rockruff, Lycanroc, and Terracon. Rhyhorn, Rhydon, and Rhyperior are all rather large rhino-like Pokemon with immense strength and durability. These Pokemon aren't necessarily made of rock, but have rock-like toughness. Perhaps a sort of rock armor or rock exoskeleton. We do see that Rhyperior does have what seems to be armor made of orange stones. This is actually the item that is used to evolve Rhyhorn into Rhyperior, a protector. But what kind of rock is this? Well, surprisingly enough, it's possibly made of sapphire. I know, right, the blue one. Well, they aren't necessarily blue. You see, ruby and sapphire are the same type of gem, just different colors. A ruby is just a red sapphire, and these gems can in fact be orange. Most other colors of this gem fall under the name corundum, and this mineral is very hard, being only second to diamonds. But we also can't forget that it may be based off of rhyolite, due to the name being so similar and the coloration, though this mineral lacks the strength that is associated with Rhyperior. Shuckle is a sweet juice Pokemon, or at least a Pokemon that is known for making some super sweet juice from berries and its own personal juices. Ew. Well, we can see how this isn't a rock Pokemon, but more or less it's a small worm in a rock shell. It is said that the digestive juices of this Pokemon are able to dissolve rock, so this shell must be quite strong or made of a crystalline structure so that it's not as dissolvable. It could be that it is made of quartz, or the Shuckle just makes sure not to get any more juice on its shell that would otherwise just be a very holy sedimentary rock. And not the spiritually kind of holy. Now on to a popular one. Larvitar, Pupitar, and the mighty Tyranitar are Pokemon capable of taking down mountains in a single punch. Gosh, and we let 10-year-olds play with them. Bet you never heard that joke before. All of these Pokemon are at home in the mountains. With their rock-like hides, normal attacks don't seem to bother them, so they are always looking for a good fight. They may get the rock typing from how they evolve, as not all Pokemon are typed due to what they are, but how they are. Pokedex entries state that Larvitar is born deep under the ground, and it must eat its way to the surface before it is able to grow. Some even state that it must eat a large mountain before it can grow. So at this point, larvitar seems more like it would be ground type than rock at this point, but Then we get to Pupitar. This gray-blue Pokemon has a hard shell. After all, its name is the hard shell Pokemon. It is assumed that this shell is formed by all of the rocks and ground that larvitar eats, so its shell is likely a large mix of mostly bedrock and lithified rocks. And now we get to Tyranitar, the armor Pokemon. This Pokemon may only be as tough as rock, or the silverish lining on his stomach could be the leftover Pupitar armor. Other than that and its diet, there isn't much really to suggest that it is rock. Relicanth is an ancient fish that I like for no good reason. I just love it. This old-as-rock fish is quite armored, bearing a large rock-like faceplate that defends it from any would-be attackers. And it has craggy rock-like scales that allow it to survive in the deep ocean for hundreds of millions of years. It is almost like a living fossil at this point, and we all know what fossils are made of. Rock. This fish is most likely not made of actual rock, but is hard as rock. They took living fossil, literally in this case, and made it rock type. Dwebble and Crustle are a cute crab duo that can be commonly found in the desert. Dwebble is a small hermit crab that likes to hide in small rocks. It uses a solvent to ease the carving of the rock it chooses to live in. The rock it chooses are most likely surface sedimentary rocks. Crustals, then, are much larger hermit crabs, and they have visible stratum on their shell. Stratum are basically the visible changes between layers of soil or sediment. So Crustal literally has a block of the Earth's crust on its back. Binnacle and Barbaracle are barnacle-like creatures. Barnacles are small cryptids that swim freely until they find a suitable rock that they then attach themselves to with a cement-like secretion from their bodies. Once attached, they do not detach unless they are scraped off, which is very difficult to do, if you could imagine. It's literally scraping concrete. Binnacle and Barbaracle have similarities in design with the Nauplius larva of a barnacle with frontolateral horns. They are not so much rock themselves, but are attached to seafloor rocks, which is made primarily of mafic rock. Not a specific rock, but rather a group of rocks that all share traits with what appears to be what Binnacle uses as a base. Rockruff and lycanroc are canines, and being from Alola, they are possibly based on the now extinct Hawaiian poi dog, known for their love of digging in the ground, and would be given collars made of shells and beach-smoothed rocks. Now, apart from the name, it may be difficult to see why this fluffy little doggo is rock type. The spikes around its collar and the dark spots in its mane are actually protruding rocks. And this becomes more apparent when it evolves into lycanroc, where we can more obviously see the spikes with the rocky tip on its mane. Again, these Pokemon may not actually be rock, but it could be that they have dried mud in their mane, perhaps super mud to the point of being rock. Similar to how real-life animals use mud to regulate their body temperature, these Pokemon may use mud to ward off small insects, or even just to deter predators from attacking vital spots. These wolves are similar in appearance to the Hokkaido wolf. Known for living in the mountains, this wolf went extinct in the 1800s when Japan introduced bait used to kill off their livestock predators. And that mountain similarity may be why they're rock type too. Who knows? It's a little loose with this one. Terrakion, one of the Swords of Justice, is the largest and most stout of the four swords. This group of Pokemon are based off of the Three Musketeers, which actually had a fourth member, and Terrakion would then represent Porthos, the largest and strongest of the three. Likewise, Terrakion is the largest in weight, coming in at 573.2 pounds. This Pokemon is most likely not made of rock, but is as sturdy as rock. Possibly, it is made somewhat of terracotta, based off of its name Terrakion, like those terracotta warriors. And that does it for Pokemon that have rock-like properties. And now we get to another interesting category, the fossil Pokemon. These are creatures born of science from ancient beings not found in the wild anymore. Think Jurassic Park. It is theorized that these Pokemon are not fully rock type, but rather are rock types because of the process of being brought to life after being a fossil. Let's get a list of the fossil Pokemon. Here we have Omanyte, Omastar, Kabuto, Kabutops, Aerodactyl, Cradily, Lileep, Anorith, Armaldo, cranidos, rampardos, Shieldon, Bastodon, Tortuga, Caracosta, Archon, Archeops, Tyrant, Tyrantum, Amora, and Auroras. The only pure rock type Pokemon here are Cranidos and Rampardos, and both of them are just numbskulls. It is likely that they are rock type just because they have bones and heads as hard as rocks. And as I mentioned, there are quite a few theories as to why all the fossil Pokemon are rock type even when they should be typed differently. Some Pokemon like Omanyte, Omastar, Anorith, Armaldo, Tortuga, Caracosta, Kabuto, and Kabutops are said to have rock-hard shells, so it's very possible that they are rock type due to these traits. and those ones would be easy. But Cradilly, Lilip, Archon, Archeops, Tyrant, Tyrant, Amora, and Aurorus don't exactly show characteristics of rock. I mean, Shieldon and Bastodon do. They are very defensive, so again, hard as rock, but Cradilly and Lilip are basically plants or sea anemones. Though looking at them, they may have a few barnacle traits with a hard outer shell, hence the rock typing. But then, Archon and Archeops look loosely based on raptors. Even the Pokedex entries state that they run much faster than they can fly and almost hop across the ground. There's nothing rocky about them. Tyrunt and Tyrantum are both large T-Rex styled Pokemon with craggy rock-like scales, I guess? So there's that. They are rock-like, thus rock-type. Amora and Aurorus look like Amargasaurus, the sail-necked dinosaurs, and they are smooth-skinned. Nothing makes them look rocky-like at all. Icy maybe, hence the ice type, but not rocky. But now we get to Aerodactyl and Mega Aerodactyl. This flying Pokemon again looks nothing like a rock. Yet when it Mega evolves, it grows large rocky spikes and gets a sick goatee. Check it. Nice. However, while you could say it's the fossils being rocks are now spiking out, this one doesn't come from a fossil like the others. It comes from an old piece of amber with what looks to be like a small insect on the inside. I can guess this is similar to what happened with Jurassic Park, where there was a mosquito that had blood from a dinosaur trapped in amber. But that means that Aerodactyl's hide had to be soft enough for this mosquito to pierce it and draw blood. That's not a very rock-like trait. So what are these fossil Pokemon? Are they rocks? Or are they only rocks because of the fossilization process? And then how does Aerodactyl mess with all that? Like what? There are a few theories that I have got cooked up about that, but that is for another video. A sort of continuation video of this discussion, so I hope to see you there. So subscribe to find out when that one gets posted, and until then, please remember to never stop using your noggin. And also, here are some other great videos. And here are some awesome Pokemon t-shirts that you can get to support this channel. Stay hard, everyone. I meant like a rock. I don't. It's hard to make analogies for this.